What is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. If it's your first visit to the channel, thanks for stopping by. This is the West Virginia Astrophotography Association's official YouTube channel, so welcome. It's great to have you. In today's video, we will be recapping and highlighting our most recent WVAA Star Party at the beautiful Calhoun County Park here in West Virginia. This awesome event brought together astronomy lovers of all experience levels to explore the night sky in one of the darkest locations in the state. Myself and WVAA President Bill Brown will be discussing how the event went, as well as sharing insights on what newcomers can expect when they decide to join or follow the organization. We're excited to announce that this is just the beginning of a new series of videos designed to keep the public engaged and informed about what the WVAA has to offer. Our community thrives on connection, and our main hub for communication is WVAA's Discord server, so whether you're a seasoned astrophotographer or just starting your journey into the stars, we'd love for you to join the conversation. You'll find a link to our Discord and more information about the WVAA in the description below. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the highlights from this unforgettable night in West Virginia under a blanket of stars. Let's do it. All right, here we are on the computer in a call with Mr. Bill Brown, and thank you for your time, Bill. We're going to start doing these type of videos pretty regular, and it's really to kind of help keep the public engaged on what WVAA has to offer and to highlight our progress as an organization. If you guys have anything you would like us to discuss in future videos, please let us know in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. All support is greatly appreciated and motivates us to keep doing what we love. So with that out of the way, let's dive right in and discuss briefly what are a few of the main goals for WVAA, how you can become a member too, and what perks are offered to WVAA members. So Bill Brown, being our elected president for the organization, I will pass it over to him and let him kind of give you the rundown on what you can expect and all that good stuff. So Bill, if you want to take it from here for a minute.
Sure, thanks, Jonathan. So WVAA is also known as West Virginia Astrophotography Association. The organization was sort of a brainchild that came up about 2 years ago. Like all of us, we have a lot of hard time gathering all the information about astrophotography, what gear's needed, exposures, how to go about the whole process. And it's a battle. You have to combine all this from a whole bunch of different sources. So that being said, I started out doing a search and looking for other organizations to join as astrophotography. And it really wasn't a astrophotography based organization. So with that, a couple of astrophotographers, Jonathan being one of them, I threw out the idea of starting an organization based solely around astrophotography, education, the mentorship, all about the art and science of astrophotography. Seemed like it would be a pretty good hit, so we did a test run for a weekend at Blackwater Falls, and it went over really well, a lot of interest. So with that, we formed the nonprofit organization. And like I said, it's based on astrophotography, but also astronomy. You can't do really one without the other. So what we tend to do is be a online community. That's where our meetings are held. Uh, and we're a resource through our Discord server where folks can join it for free and gain the experience, the knowledge, the mentorship. And we even have a monthly contest that we put on for astrophotography images. It's a challenge per se. So there's rules around that, and you just go and you collect your images. It's from beginner to expert, so everyone is included. With that, it's posted anonymously to our Discord server, and then the vote is also anonymous. So there's no favoritism or anything along with the challenge itself. Everyone is invited to participate, and that winner for that month and that challenge will receive one of our custom designed Astrophotography Hall of Fame coins, and then also be inducted in our Hall of Fame. That image will then go on with all the details and be incorporated into multimedia. We're talking about starting an annual calendar that will showcase those Hall of Fame images. But really, it is just an online community where you can join like-minded individuals, gain the knowledge, experience, and mentorship that you're looking for, discuss gear, techniques, and everything involved with astrophotography. With that, we also do public outreach. This is an outreach and education organization. We host school and 4-H groups, and anybody else that would like to have a star party thrown for an organization or a small group. In these star parties, we teach a little bit of astronomy. We teach night sky navigation, along with equipment and techniques for astrophotography. And we do have a lending library of equipment that the public is welcome to use. We started out with smart scopes, in particular the Seestar, where anyone can come up with their smart device. They can connect to it, get the mentorship on how to operate the user interface. You control the scope, you choose your own target, and you take your own astrophotography image. At the end of the night, that goes with you. It's on your saved on your smart device. And at our workshops and at our annual conference, we also provide a 5x7 print of your astrophotography image that you can take with you and share. So it's a great experience. Anyone that can use an iPhone or an Android phone, an iPad, or anything like that, they're super easy to navigate and utilize and capture your own image. We talked a little bit about the Seestar. So what that actually is, it's a all-in-one astrophotography rig. So this is it. This has a built-in telescope. It has all the sky atlas on it. It has the a dew heater. It has built-in filters. And for daytime, you can actually use an external solar filter that comes with it. It tracks the images, it stacks. Again, once you get into astrophotography, you'll learn we take what's called subframes, and then we build those and stack upon them each other to come up with a final image. But more of that to come. So that is WVAA in a nutshell. We have a monthly star party that travels all around the state currently, and we're looking to expand outside of the state. And that allows people to come to a star party, gather together, experience the night sky. It's family fun entertainment. We do a coffee and stars theme, and that's where we provide free coffee and hot cocoa. And then we also have some very fancy coffee. A lot of us are home roasters as well, so we typically bring a barista and things like that, and those are donations if you'd like a fancy coffee. We have our custom mugs as well for WVAA Coffee and Stars. A lot of this stuff we'll bring onto the videos in the future, and you'll be able to see these things. Some real exciting news is WVAA just partnered with Dwarf Labs. So we're extending our smart telescopes, and we now have just received in a Dwarf Labs 3 unit, and we'll be evaluating that and making a full video and review on it. So that'll be out for everybody to see. And we may even go into a second video with that on compare and contrast with ZWO's Seestar. Both of these are very affordable units for you to jump in with, and I highly recommend either one of them right now. And we'll go into each the pros and cons down the road. But for your first telescope, if you don't have one, this package is about $3,000 or $3,500 worth of technology and equipment into a small portable package that's only $500. It's unbelievable. Most of the rigs that you'll see out there taking photos, you know, 3,000, 3,500 is a starting point, and they go up from there. So a lot of excitement, and the quality of the images these come out with is phenomenal. So I know that was a lot to get across. But Jonathan, I'm gonna kick it back over to you right now.
So thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. I wanted to kind of do this first video on maybe just how the recent Star Party went at Calhoun County Park. And among the members and officers of WVAA, it's a few of our favorites. We just really have a good time there. It's a nice dark sky location. There's a cabin there that we like to rent, and I wanted to kind of give a rundown of how the Star Party went. It was on Friday, November 8th, and Saturday, November 9th. And we gathered at Calhoun County Park around 4 p.m. to begin preparing for the night ahead. And everybody kind of gathers in that field in front of the cabin, and we like to set up our equipment a little early so we have time to kind of mingle with people showing up and the public and all that. So we use the cabin kind of like a home base, and we stay in there, and we can kind of do workshops if we want to out of there. We can cook food in there, and it was originally supposed to be a 2 day event, but the weather kind of changed on Saturday, so we ended up only being able to do it on Friday night. But it ended up being a good night, and we got a bunch of pictures from different people, the members and few of the public with Seestars got some pretty good pictures. So I figured we could kind of look over those. Any tips, if we have any, or just what we like about the picture, kind of give people a more close-up look at some of these images. Good way to really zoom in and show you guys some of the details that we're able to capture on some of these targets. So I'll pull up an image here and we can take a look at.
Well, he's pulling that up. I know Jonathan mentioned Calhoun has a lot to offer. They also have a bunkhouse there in the field that we set up on. There's pedestals for campers. They also have a large barn as well where we can do and we'll get into that. Saturday during the day we did a workshop where we taught post processing, and that's always a major part of astrophotography as well. So, and that's what our weekend was intended to be, was two star parties and a major workshop. So
We'll go ahead and start with this image captured by WVAA member and officer Jason Young. And using the ASCRV refractor telescope at 60 millimeters, he was able to capture this awesome image of the flaming star and Tadpoles Nebula. With the 0.8 times reducer installed, was able to capture the nearby Spider and Fly Nebula in the frame as well. This put him at a focal length of 270 millimeters, and the camera he used is the popular ZWO ASI 294 MC Pro. And this camera is a one-shot color, cool, dedicated astronomy camera. And he chose to shoot this target with the ASCAR C1 Color Magic filter. And Bill actually uses this filter as well. Bill, do you want to kind of give him a rundown on how to use that filter?
sure. So in shooting narrowband with the one shot color, there's several different options. And the ASCAR company came out with two separate kits. They have a C kit and a D kit. And the C kit in particular, which was used here by Jason, contains two filters. There's a C1, which captures your hydrogen alpha and oxygen 3, and a C2 filter that will capture your oxygen 3 and sulfur 2. So you have two sets of data you need to capture, same amount of time, and then combined and blend together to get the full effect for show, which is the Hubble pilot, and it's sulfur, hydrogen alpha, and oxygen 3. However, as you can see, it does quite a good job just with the C1, bringing out the hydrogen alpha and the oxygen 3. We can start to see a lot of that here, but it adds double that amount of oxygen data when you combine this with the C2 filter.
This image is a stack of 38 300-second individual frames. Just Flaming Star just has a lot of detail in here, and I really like that. So
Yeah, and there you can see the blue and the flaming star. That's your oxygen 3. And if you shot this again with the second part of that filter kit, it adds so much more of the oxygen to it, and it will not expose for the hydrogen. So, we can go into a whole lesson on filters and then the calibration frames as well. It's all combined to give us our final image there. Um, some things we want to do is reduce noise, different types of noise, and also get rid of dust and things like that. And that's what our calibration frames do. And this looks like he did a really good job with removing noise on this. So that calibration frames played well. I don't see any particular big halos for dust motes or anything. Looks really good. The detail is really nice in a lot of this. Did a good job, real good job.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I love the framing of it. So
Let's go ahead and look at this next image. This one is the Witch Head Nebula, and this target is near the bright star Rigel in Orion. And using the same setup as his other image, he was able to really frame this target up nicely. And this target is actually pretty tough to capture. It really requires some dark skies and no filter to really do it justice. I think Jay has done a pretty awesome job really bringing out the details in this faint target. So I've only ever shot this target once over the years, and I might have to give it another try this year. It was actually the reason I got my Rokinon 135 lens, but I just never have really done it justice. So I think I'm going to go after it again.
that one's on my list. So I know you mentioned Rigel. Rigel is at the top right here. That's a really bright white area that you see up here, and that's what illuminates this. It's solely a reflection nebula, so there's no emission like the last three you saw here. So it is all from the light from that one star. It's not ionized gases or anything. It was a little overcast, a very high level and hazy, and you can see that around a couple of the stars here, particularly the one right, don't know which one this one is, but right behind the main face part of the witch's head. And that can be cleared up just a little bit if you have extremely clear skies. But for the conditions we had, this was another great job by Jay on this. You can see some smaller galaxies there as well, and they're scattered throughout several places here. So another good job, Jay. Looks great. Good framing too. I like that.
Yeah, a couple galaxies up top here that just really cool. Shows how cool this target really is when you bring out a lot of these faint details.
This will lend itself well to a mono camera and LRGB filters as well. It takes 4 times as many frames to do it, but that's my goal. I'm gonna go after that with LRGB and mono.
Next up, we have an image captured by WVAA member and our Vice President, Dave Roberts, also on the Flaming Star and Tadpoles Nebula. This image is a bit tighter than Jay's image as he wasn't able to fully capture the Spider Nebula as well. It's still a great image and shows how slight differences in equipment or camera sensors can yield a completely different image. This image was also captured with the ASCAR-V telescope at 60 millimeters, but instead of the 0.8 times reducer, he used the provided 1 times field flattener, giving him a focal length of 277 millimeters. So just slightly different than Jay's. The camera used for this capture was the popular ZWO ASI 533 MC Pro one-shot color cooled astronomy camera, and with its square sensor, you can really see the difference in field of view when viewing it next to Jason's image of the same field. Dave is using the ASCAR C1 and C2 color magic filters for this image as well. This was 85-minute exposures with the C1 filter and 12 exposures at 300 seconds with the C2 filter, stacked and processed using PixInsight. And I like how he kind of got these three targets in each corner. Kind of just looks cool. But you can really see it's actually rotated to, other than Jay's image was, I think, rotated 90 degrees to the left.
I do like the contrasty look of this. It just makes the details pop a little bit. And
Yeah,
where he used the C2 in combination, if you'll scroll down to the tab poles there and the flame, you can see it has a little more of the blue hue, and you can see the little, I call it gas burner flame on the flaming star over here as well. The blue peaks that come out, and that only grows with the more oxygen 3 that you bring into it. But really good job on that, and the blue adds, I believe, quite a bit to the tadpoles as well. Detail looks great. Noise looks great on it. Great image.
yeah,
And with the 533 camera, square sensor, I think this is really good framing if you want to capture all three.
yeah. All right. Next up, we have this beautiful image of the Pleiades captured by WVAA member Abraham Jones using an Astrotech 72 ED2 doublet refractor telescope. Also using the ZWO ASI 533 MC Pro camera, he was able to compose this image nicely with its square sensor. This target is considered a broadband target as well as the witch head, so it's a perfect choice for the dark sky location. Abraham used only a UV cut filter for this one, which preserved all those star colors nicely. And this target is always a joy to photograph, and the blue color of the surrounding gas is a favorite for many astrophotographers. His exposure time for this image is a total of 216 60-second individual frames stacked together into one final image, making this a 3.6-hour exposure stacked with calibration frames and processed using PixInsight.
Yeah, great target, great target. And the integration time really pops and brings out the wispy, I call them brush strokes, the
Yeah,
nebulosity around those stars, very hot. And this is great. Did a great job. I see all the gases coming out, a little bit of red hue coming around in the background of the dust, which is fantastic. Again, great target, great job. Stars, star shape, and color is phenomenal. Abe always excels at these and does a great job. So fantastic composition, framing, and processing on this. Good job, Abe.
yeah, yeah.
C20.
Also, while waiting on the Pleiades to rise, old Abe was able to grab some time on Comet A3 as well. And I think he did a great job on the processing. This image is a total of 170 10-second frames and was enough to really make it pop nicely. This is a comet that was really hard for me to process. I just could not get kind of that separation in the tail. Um, at this point, it's very hard to pull out any kind of like real structure in the tail anymore. And he was still able to kind of do that. And yeah, it kind of makes it look easy, don't he?
Yeah, he does. So Comet, like I said, the Comet had already hit its peak about a month before we went to Calhoun, or half a month anyway, and it's on its trip out now, so a little bit dimmer. It was still visible. I don't remember if I could see it with naked eye or not. But comet processing is a whole nother animal in itself. Not only is, you would think our mounts and everything are set up to track the stars and the trails. Well, that's fine. That gets star trails out, but the comet is moving through that as well. So it's a little trick. You have to do a couple different exposures, one for the comet and track on it, and one for the star field and track on it. And it's a big processing workflow, and we'll go through that at some point too. But fantastic job done by Abraham Jones. Stars look phenomenal. Love the star colors. Always great to grab RGB stars. Um, that just makes the images pop so much more than just including tinted stars from any filters that you may use. So good job, Abe.
Yeah. Yep. Good job. Next up, we have an image captured by me with the ASCAR 120 triplet APO refractor telescope. And this is another image captured of the same region as Jay and Dave. It's a lot closer focal length at 840 millimeters. I chose to target just the Spider and Fly Nebula. It's a great comparison to showcase kind of with Dave and Jay's nonetheless. And I'm currently shooting with the ZWO ASI 294 MC Pro as well, but I'm using the Optilong L Extreme dual band filter instead of the C1, C2 color magic filters. And this L Extreme filter has a band pass of 7 nanometers HA and 7 nanometers of O3. These filters can really be used in super heavy light polluted areas to capture stunning images. So it's kind of been my main go-to filter over the past year or two, and it does a great job adding contrast and detail in emission nebula. So it also does great on supernova remnants and can be used to create Hubble palette images as well. Yeah, you can really see the Spider Nebula here that Dave wasn't really able to capture here.
Yeah, it looks great. A lot of detail there. Nice stars. I was kind of worried. I've heard a lot of bad things about the L Extreme from some groups, and I've seen your work with it, and it came out great. So that enticed me to buy one myself, and I don't have the halo problem as well. I think a lot of that may have just been in processing that some of the folks were doing. I don't know. I'd have to see, but very good work. A lot of detail here. I like it. Stars look great. Good
Thank you,
job.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's a cool target. Pretty cool. I'd never really shot it like this before, so it was interesting to kind of shoot with the longer focal length and getting a little more detail out of the Fly Nebula here was pretty fun. So it's a combination of 88 300-second individual frames stacked and calibrated using PixInsight. Total time was around 7.3 hours. So yeah, fun target. All
Yeah.
right. So next up we have your image, Bill. If you want to kind of talk about yours.
So the optics that were utilized for this was the Stellar View 105 Raptor carbon fiber scope. A little bit older scope, but does a great job. Extremely clean edge to edge. The camera used was the famous ASI 2600 MC. That's a one-shot color, a cool camera. And the filter set that was utilized on this was the ASCAR C1, C2. C1 again was the O3 HA, and C2 was the O3 S2 filter. And so two complete image sets, 35 10-minute frames each, and they were then blended together to form one image, C1 and C2. Calibration frames, of course, shot 75 bias frames and 20 flat frames per filter. With the 2600 MC camera, you do not need darks as there is no amp glow or thermal noise to calibrate out. So that saves a little bit of processing time. And this was compressed down and went through our Facebook as well. And you can see the smaller halos around some of the stars are due to the high level clouds. It wasn't completely clear all night, but I did go ahead and integrate those images. This is the Tadpole Nebula, and you can see the two little tadpoles swimming up to the center of the dark portion of the nebula, which are dust clouds that actually block the light. So,
Man, that's just so cool looking, dude.
and I'll go back and revisit on a completely clear night. This has got my interest peaked now. See how clean I can get this.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice job. Really like the just the glow on the tadpoles.
Yeah, we'll try to get those full files in for our next reviews as well. So
So we'll kind of go over some of these Seestar images, and here's one by Eddie from Pennsylvania, and he came out with his Seestar, and this is a Seestar capture. He just kind of shot a little bit. He's mostly a visual guy, so this is what he was able to catch. I think he did a great job.
Oh, absolutely. This is and what you didn't mention, the images you're going to see are mostly, with the exception of one or two, raw stock files that come directly out the Seestar. So no post processing done. On this, if you look at the comet itself, as you can see, we talked about this a little bit earlier. The star field was tracked, but the comet was not on this. So the comet appears, you can see its movement in the straight line through the star field. So that whole thing, the very bright core that you see there, that was the comet traveling throughout the exposure time. Good job, Eddie.
Yep, good job. Really like it. Here's another one from Seestar, target M33, the Triangulum Galaxy, and this is also directly from the Seestar, and no real post processing done or editing or anything like that. And it's really cool to see what you can catch in just a few minutes.
It does a great job. You can see the spiral arms there. Some of the globule, I'm gonna call them globules, but glob portions of stars are visible in this. Star shape looks good for the time. And if you scroll to the bottom there, Jonathan, we'll take a quick look and we'll tell them exactly. The banner was left on this. So that has 109 minutes of integration time on M33. But as far as generalized noise, about this 109 minutes, it did a really good job of removing that. And it takes calibration frames. It doesn't take the same calibration frames that we take with full rigs, but it does take dark frames, which is thermal noise on the sensor itself. And it combines that with each light exposure as it stacks it. So it eliminates that thermal sensor noise.
Next up, we got a shot of the Orion Nebula, and this is 77 minutes.
You'll see the dark area at the top right and the bottom left. This is utilizing what is just recently been released is the mosaic mode for the Seestar. The focal length is typically around 1,000 millimeters, a little bit over, I think, with just a single image or single frame. And you can't capture all of this with that. This gives the full Running Man here, gave the Great Orion Nebula. So this is much wider than just a single image. So the mosaic mode was utilized. Let it run long enough, it will fill out all those corners. It just starts adding them together.
So do you tell it that beforehand how wide you want it?
Yeah, basically you in your atlas you bring up and it'll bring up the Orion Nebula and it will crop down quite small. You'll get about half a Running Man and you'll cut off the right hand side of Orion there and maybe get a little bit of the two stars below. So
Kind of like that.
yeah, but it won't be that wide even.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is a single view. So in your atlas, you just pinch zoom and it expands the box out.
On Seestar as well, and this is 152-minute exposure.
And this was one of our other units. But if you zoom in on that, where you can see the what would be the mouth of Pac-Man and then the Bach globule down the center, you can see you're pulling out quite a lot of details in this over time. Noise seems to be very well controlled. Star shapes and sizes were good. And as you go across, towards the edges, we can start seeing a little bit of noise in there, color noise. But again, that can all be taken care of in post processing.
Yeah.
but it looks good. And this was from a couple folks that were just general public, never used a telescope before,
Yeah.
no idea about astrophotography, and they were able to walk away with this image at the end of the night as one of several.
So
Again,
heck,
here's a mosaic of the Andromeda Galaxy, and you can see it wasn't finished. They only got 76 minutes on it. If they'd let this go longer, it would have filled out. And the longer you let these run, the less noise, the less gradient, everything is reduced, and they always look good. You can see a lot of the dust in this starting to come out, the dust bands, which is always phenomenal. And we've got the two satellite galaxies with it as well. So looks good. Good job.
very nice. All right, so this last image here is was captured by Lisa Roberts, and this is the wife of our VP, and she's done a great job here. This is actually a stack of 4 hours of data, a total of 1,444 images stacked together and edited in PixInsight. So this really shows what you can do when you kind of stack your data on a computer and what you can kind of bring out in the Horsehead Nebula.
And this was shot with the Seestar. So
Yep. So
yeah, really good job. I like the hydrogen field behind the horse head. Looks great.
yeah,
Fantastic job. Stars look good. And Almanac is always tough to deal with, and that's a star to the top left there. That's one of the belt stars of Orion. Normally, that is got tons of halo around it and everything, and that it was dealt with very well for the Sea Star. So
yeah, but yeah, she did a great job. I think that's it on all the images from the Calhoun party. I think everybody did a great job, and yeah, it was a really fun night. Like I said, the other two nights, or the second night, didn't turn out as well as the first, but we were still able to, have a pretty good time. And we had a workshop actually on Saturday afternoon where we kind of did some. Bill did a image processing tutorial in PixInsight, and yeah, we were able to kind of do a start from finish stack and process, which was pretty interesting. We're able to utilize the barn there at the Calhoun County Park, so another reason why it's a good location. They have the facilities we need to kind of run these workshops and host a lot of people. So next
yeah,
time we have it there, you guys should try to come out and yeah, take your own image and all that good stuff. Drink some of Bill's good coffee and yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, as far as the workshop on Saturday, it was a small workshop, but we had a really good time. A lot of people I hope learned a lot. Jay started us out with the stacking process in PixInsight with weighted batch pre-processing, and that's where we combined our calibration frames and all the light images or pictures, as a camera person would call those of what you're taking. We call them light frames, but that's where we teach you how to go through all that and combine them all into a single image. And then from that, we take that and then further process. Since we did most of these with one-shot color cameras, I taught a one-shot color workflow that I came up with. Does really well. Take you to A to Z on an image. And the data we utilized for that was gathered by Jay Young. It was the WR134 Wolf Rant, and it came out really well as a narrowband image after the workshop. So, and if you guys have any questions on workflow or anything, that's what we're here for on Discord. Again, I think Jonathan's going to put all that information down below for you. And one thing I did not cover earlier, but that is if you would like to be a member of WVAA, There's only like a 4-question form that we have you fill out. And the dues for that is $25 a year, and you are a member at that point. You get some exclusive content. There's a couple other things that you gain on it. You have access to utilize our lending library if you want to check an item out for a weekend or something like that. That's one of the big benefits of becoming a member. So with that, if you would like that information, the form, our treasurer, Jay Young, can send that to you. Contact us on Discord and just let us know you're interested. We'll get all the information over to you and hope you can join us.
With that, we'll kind of wrap it up here with Bill and we'll close it out. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you kind of taking the time to speak with us here and get to everybody can kind of get to know you a little bit. Like I said before, we'll start doing these videos. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where we're doing them once a week. We got a couple videos planned out and scheduled, so we'll have a few more coming out in the next few weeks, and we'll just kind of see how it goes from there. But for now, thank you, Bill, and we'll see you next time. Have a good
Thanks,
one,
John.
Bill. Thanks.
See y'all.
Peace. Well, that pretty much wraps up our recap of the WVAA Star Party at Calhoun County Park. It was an incredible night filled with stargazing, great conversations, and a shared love for exploring the cosmos. Whether you're a seasoned astrophotographer or just starting to discover the wonders of the night sky, there's truly something special about coming together as one community under the stars. A huge thank you to everyone who attended, helped organize, and contributed to making this event a success. And of course, a special shout out to WVAA President, Mr. Bill Brown, for all his hard work and dedication. It's events like this that truly show the passion and commitment of our members. If this video inspired you, or you're interested in joining us for future events, or just connecting with others who share your love for astronomy, we'd love to have you. Our WVAA Discord server is where it all happens. It's the hub of our community and the best way to stay informed, ask questions, and share your astrophotography work with others. You'll find the link in the description below so you can join in on the conversation today. We're also very excited to continue this new video series. From event recaps like this one to tips, tutorials, and highlights from our amazing members, there's much more to come. Please leave a comment if you have any topics or ideas you might like to see us cover in future videos. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new WVAA content. That's going to be about it for this one, guys. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for all your support. And as always, keep looking up, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.